So we're going to ask Peter now to explain to us as students what super-curricular reading is all about. And here we're thinking in terms of the content, the books and the materials that we need to gather together to accumulate the advice that we need from the people. So let's hand it over to Peter. Peter, what is super-curricular reading really all about?
So it's really about stretching beyond the confines of your A-level specifications, taking information at a superficial level that may exist as a mere paragraph in a textbook or one slide on a PowerPoint, and then diving much deeper. Now, the entry portal to this new depth might be a TED Talk, or it might be a basic book. I've got one here, 50 Psychology Ideas. And you might not think of this as a particularly deep book academically, but if you read through a book like this and then choose the one or two ideas that you're most drawn to, that can give you search terms to go and search for something in far more depth. Now, the end point of all this might be a much more challenging read. So here I've got the Manual of Bioethics in Italian. This might be 3 birds with 1 stone. It clearly would go way beyond an A-level knowledge of ethics and biology, but it would also clearly showcase the linguistic talents, perhaps the family hinterland of the student. We at Oxbridge Edge, we're always aware of all the assets you have. We may be more aware of your assets in terms of application than you are, and we will dig with you to find the relative that can assist you, the book that can support you, the placement that can drive you forward, going to higher and higher levels to reach the Oxbridge offer that you desire.
And in terms of what is important here, can you tell us a little bit more in the relationship between the super-curricular reading, the personal statement and the placement, how they interface?
The super-curricular reading should reflect the content of the personal statement. Fortunately, you can do this with the horse in front of the cart or the other way around. It may be that you're putting your personal statement together, you haven't yet completed the placement, or you wait until the placement's finished and then you rewrite the personal statement. But there needs to be an integration, almost like the helical model of DNA, 2 strands running together. The PS must be connected to super-curricular reading. And then the placements that will use up your valuable time in the summer. You can't just take any old placement doing any old thing. You need to make sure that the content of the placement reflects the PS, aligns with the super-curricular reading, and gives you access to mentors. I mean, if you can get a placement at your target college, or you can get a placement at the hospital that is alongside your target university, so much the better. But the key here is always integration and synergy.
So in relation to Oxbridge Edge, one of the edges is finding the appropriate models. So how does modelling, you mentioned mentors, how does modelling come into play with regards to your super-curricular reading?
Well, it's a bit like the movie structure, The Hero's Journey. You can step into the wonderful, potentially overwhelming world of the second-hand bookshop on your own, or you can step into the world of the wonderful bookshop with a mentor that may have spent many years or decades ploughing through the shelves of super-curricular reading. What a benefit that is, because the mentor has a bird's eye view or an eagle eye view of your journey. He or she can see what's in your PS at the point in time, but can also anticipate what's going to come up at interview in November and December. Therefore, the super-curricular reading in the summer holiday in the second-hand bookshop or the library must build the bridge between the two. And so with the guidance of the mentor, you choose the right book, you alight on the right chapter, you give the right presentation, you hone the right skills, you achieve the right offer.
So we are encouraging everyone to understand what's important when it comes to super-curricular reading. You might want to listen again to this, make sure that you make notes, and then go and gain the support of those important people and models that are available in the environment around you. And is there anything, Peter, you'd like to finally add on this subject in order to guide these aspirational students to success at Oxbridge?
It can be very much the unexpected. I had a student last year applying for French and Russian, and the first book I gave her at the start of the summer holidays was on the study of dolphin language and whale language. And when I sent her the text, she thought that I had misspelled whale with an H and was in fact referring to the country. And then she read the book and she noticed that AI was being used to record the sounds of whales in the ocean. And the AI was able to make distinctions that we couldn't. The AI could spot patterns and distinguish baby whales talking to their parents from parents talking to one another. And then she suddenly had this eureka epiphany moment. Wow, we could use these new tools in AI to enhance our learning of languages like French and Russian. And in her interview, she ended up, she was asked a question, do you have any questions for us? And she asked a question about how the faculty at Oxford in MFL were integrating the insights of AI. And they partly answered the question, but then they were deferential. And they said, well, we need the new generation, people like yourself, to bring those skills to the faculty. And it was at that moment, I think, she realised she was in with a good chance of getting an offer. And indeed, she did get her offer for Russian and French.
So on behalf of all the observers and listeners, I'd just like to thank Peter for helping us cover this section regarding what's important when it comes to super curricular reading. And let's now move on to the next section.